After spending long hours working with light, shadows and gradients, I came up with a simple method for creating Apple wallpapers. Even a beginner, after seeing this technique, can easily recreate it. Let's look at the original image to find all the answers here. We can see a rather complex but pleasant design of color transitions, waves, shadows and light. Now, let's see it from the perspective of the wallpaper creator. So basically there are only 3 layers here. The first layer starts with gray, then moves to blue and light blue. This is all one layer. Next we have the second or middle layer. We can confirm this in this area where the light gradually goes onto the third layer. We can also see how the third layer overlaps the second one. So we can conclude that there are only 3 layers. Now let's take the gradient tool by pressing G. The most important thing here is to understand how the slider works, which you can figure out by experimenting with it. So let's add the gray color and make it transition to blue or light blue. I'll experiment until I got something similar to the original image. You can add different colors to the gradient. Here's roughly how to do it. This looks quite close to what we have in the sample, so we've finished with layer 1. And now let's move to the curvature pen tool. You can find it on the left. Select it and all we need to do is trace the wavy shapes by following the original image. This is how it's done. For convenience, let's fill the second layer with black. Then, using the curvature pen tool, we will trace the third layer the same way by outlining the borders of the image. Press Selection Shift plus F5 and fill it with white for convenience, so it's easier to work with. Now we have clear outlines of wavy shapes, just like in the original image. Next, let's select the second image using Ctrl. This will allow us to apply the gradient tool only to this image. Choose the gradient tool and apply colors from black to blue to light blue. Play with the tool until you are satisfied with the result. This is where I'll leave it for now. Again, using Ctrl, select the third layer and experiment with gradients here. Now, let's add some light or shadows to the second layer. You can adjust this with the sliders according to your preferences. Let's tweak the first layer a bit because the light at the top isn't very visible. I'll make it look something like this. Yes, this looks much better. Let's adjust the third layer by choosing the blending options and estimating what looks right. Here you can add either light or shadows. I will choose some light shadows. Again, play with the settings and you can always change them later. Now you can create new layers and experiment with a soft transparent brush, for example, to add light or shadows. The image looks amazing. You can now set it as your wallpaper. But here is one of the trickiest parts: removing the shadow. For example, we can see that in the original there is no light or shadows at the bottom, but we still have some light here. Let's select this area, press Ctrl plus J, and we will create another layer above the third one, but it overlaps because we've played with the blending. We also see there is still some light left. To fix this, let's convert the main image into a smart object by right-clicking and selecting Convert to Smart Object. Click on the layer we cut out with Ctrl and you'll get selection. To continue working with a smart object, press Create New Layer, right-click and Link Layers. Now you can do wherever you want. We can see the light remains only along the outline and we can easily erase it. So in our main layer, since the blending options have changed, we will switch the blending mode to soft light. There's also something interesting here. We see a strange line, but if we zoom in, it's not there. And when we save the image, it's definitely gone. This is just a leftover effect from Photoshop. They probably never expected anyone to work like this. Now, just like in the original, there is no glow at the bottom. So if you have any additional or alternative ways to do this, feel free to share them in the comments. See you